Alright kiddos, we are going to do the Unit 4 test review so you can make sure you have all the right answers and you're studying hopefully fairly well. Anyways, let's look at the first set of problems, shall we? Alright. Name a plane parallel. Remember, WXT, that would be this front plane right here. What's parallel to that? Plane Z, Y, U, V. Any three of those four letters I would take. Give me two segments parallel. Okay, parallel to VU. Okay, for sure, you can go right under it and say ZY. And you can go right across and say ST. I don't see any others, but there you go. Parallel to SW. Okie dokie. Parallel to this one. Well, we've got VZ. Because this goes up and down. So any sides or any corners that go up and down, UY would be parallel. XT. Or any combination of those. Okay? Skew. Skew is the more interesting one. Remember, those go in different directions, do not intersect, and are not parallel. So, you could say SV. You could say you could say UT. I was about to say UT. ST would be okay. You could say VU. You could say SW. And you could say VZ. All those would be skew to YX. Okay, I want segments skew to VZ. Alrighty, let's look at this one. So I want to be skewed to this line right here. So YX would work. UT would work. SW, no, would not work. What would I say here? Okay, YX, UT, ST. So again, different directions, does not intersect. Oh, I didn't say WX, WX. So you can see here, there's more than two, so there you go. Alright, so again, how do I know which ones are what? Remember, corresponding are like those that connect like this. Alternate interior are ones that connect like that. Okay? Alternate exterior are ones that connect like outside to outside on opposite sides. And then consecutive interior connect like so. Okay? So when I look at this one, angle 4 and angle 10, those would be consecutive interior angles joined by the transversal K. Okay, or line K. 8 and 11 would be, say, alternate exterior angles joined by line M. 2 and 12, no relation. Because they're on the same side exterior angles, so that doesn't count, okay? So we don't have anything for same side exterior. 5 and 7. Where's 5? Where's 7? 5 and 7 are corresponding. And that is joined by 5 and 7 would be angle J, or line J. Sorry, not angle, but line. And then 2 and 13. 2 and 13, alternate interior angles. And they would be joined by line L. Okay, so that should be fairly easy. I would add these into my formula sheet. I would probably try to have some examples so I could see what they look like and then go from there. Alright, so I'm not going to go over this one because I don't want to use up like a ton of time, but you can see the answers. Just kind of keep in mind, like, you know, like remember that if they're vertical, they're going to be equal. So like 9 and 15 are equal, and if I know, or like 7 and 1 are equal, so if I know 7 is 131, then I know what 1 is. And keep in mind, like, oh, that did not mean to do that. That if I know, like, what those, like, if these two are going to be equal, then these two are going to be 180. And I would fill in all of these first before I start worrying about the corresponding alternate interior angles and stuff like that to help me figure out all the others. And that should hopefully get you through most of that. On number 12, I would be very careful to make sure the reason why I started here like at number 9 with the 105 is because I could fill in this part first and then try to see, okay, 10 and 6 correspond, 2 and 5 are vertical, 3 and 6 are equal. Like I could use that to help me build up and not necessarily have to worry too much about a transversal. So that should help you through those, and that should go from there. But again, if you have questions, make sure you ask quickly before class begins. Okay, so now let's look at these type of problems. So you got to make sure that you set those up correctly and like realize, okay, these are alternate exteriors. So I can say 10x minus 17 is equal to 8x plus 1. Variables to the left, numbers to the right. So minus 8x plus 17. Let's try that again. Plus 17. That would give me 2x is equal to 18. And then you divide in x is equal to 9. Okay, if you plug the 9 back in here, you would get 9 times 8 is 72, and that's 73 degrees. Okay, these two together, 6y plus 29 plus 73 equals 180. Remember, next to each other like that is a linear pair, so they're 180. You combine your like terms, you get 102. Then you can subtract to get 78. And then you can divide and you get y is equal to 13. Okay, so that's how you can get x and y there. On the next one, I would still say the same thing. 7x minus 30 is equal to 5x plus 14. Move the x over, move the number over. So minus 5x, which is going to be 2x, plus 30, which is 44. So x is equal to 22. Okay, if you put the 22 in here, you'll have 3y plus 11. Let's see here. So doing this in my head, I would get 154. 7 times 22 should be 154. And then minus 30 should be 124. Okay, so that should be 124 plus 124 equals 180. And then that gives me 3y plus 135 equals 180. Subtract the 135, you get 3y is equal to 45. So y is equal to 15. So there are those two. And then the next one is the trickiest one, I guess. These two add up because they're consecutive interior. So 23x minus 16 plus 8x minus 21 equals 180. Okay, so, and then realize those two are going to be equal. So here I would have 31x minus 37 equals 180. So 31x is equal to 217, and then you can divide, and that should get you x equal to 7. Okay, put the 7 in here and say 7 times 23 minus 16, and what would you get? And according to this, I should get 145, so I'm saying 7y minus 23 equals 145. Okay, so then I would add the 23 to that and get 168. And then divide by 7. Divided by 7, and I should get 24. So in this case, x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 24. And there you go. Okay, so I think for most of y'all, I was able to go over these first few. So 8 and 20 would have been pair lines are z and x joint, and their alternate interior angles. The next one, 1 and 9, is corresponding angles. The next one, 3 and 10, is consecutive interior, x making x and y parallel. 11 and 16, well, that really, 11 being congruent to 16 is nothing. So that one I would say is like none. Okay, 14 and 23. Where's 14? Can't see. Okay, 14 and 23 would have been like connecting y with z and being alternate exterior angles. Because if you see these two, they're on the outside of those two lines. So that's why that one would be alternate exterior. Let's see here, 4 and 21. Where the heck is 4? And there's 21. Okay, so that would join x and z. Oops, let's try that again. X and z. And those, because those are corresponding angles. So we've got those to be corresponding angles. And then let's see, 8 and 18. Intriguing. 8 and 18 equal to 180. That doesn't look like that should be anything, so I would say that is none. And then finally 5 and 15. 5 and 15 are alternate exterior angles. And 5 and 15, and that would join x with y. Okay, so we got that going from there. Okay, so these next ones, what you're going to do here is this is the setup. And you can say, okay, well, because these two are alternate interior angles, that allows them to be parallel. This would be, if I set them equal to each other, this finds the one value of x that would make those two lines parallel. So then I would add 25 to this, and I get 14x is equal to 129 plus 25. So 129 plus 25 would give me 154. And then divide that by 14, and that should give you x equals 11. Okay? And then on the next one, if I combine my like terms, I have 11x minus 18 equals 180. So then 11x, when I add 18 to 180, I get 198. And then divide by 11, x is equal to 18. Okay? Now, the reason why that one works is those are consecutive interior angles. Okay? So consecutive interior angles would give you that. Alright. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, so again, I've gone over most of this. Hopefully y'all got this. Know your slope formula. Know your slope-intercept formula. Know your standard form. AX plus BY equals C. Notice that you can use that to help you find the slope. The slope is equal to negative A over B. Point slope formula, Y minus Y1 equals, and so on and so forth. Notice that you have blanks to fill in. Examples of opposite reciprocals, which is perpendicular lines, and kind of go from there. That first one y'all should be able to do. So if I set up the second one, let's see what that one gives me. Minus 8 minus 15, negative 3 minus 1 gives you, should be 7/4. Okay, if I look at the next one, I have 10 minus a negative 5. No, I don't. Why don't I just get that right? Negative 9 minus a negative 5. And then 10 minus 3. And when I do that, I get negative 4 over 7. So I have 7/4 and negative 4 over 7. So those two lines are perpendicular. Okay, so those two are perpendicular. And then finally, on the last one, oops, I don't think I have enough space here. Just a second. Last one, if I do this, I'm going to get negative 7 over 0, which is an undefined. And then I'm going to get, on this one, let's see here, 10 minus 6, which is 4, over negative 2 minus a negative 2, which is 0. Okay, the fact is, both of these are undefined. So since both of them are undefined, that's still going to make this parallel. So undefined, undefined, parallel. Okay? If they had both, I don't care that these numbers here are different. The fact is they're both dividing by 0. That means they're undefined, they're vertical lines. Okay? So keep that in mind, that could be, say, something that could be a wee bit tricky. But we'll see. Alright, so these next ones, look, this is what I mean by, like, you don't have to solve for y. If you get something like this, dang nab. Let's try that again. If you get something like this, all you got to do is say, here's A, here's B, negative A over B. Negative 6 over 10 gives me negative 3/5. Negative 5 over negative 3 would give me positive 5/3, and these are opposite reciprocals, so this one is perpendicular. Here, negative 1 over negative 1 gives me 1. And then on this one, I'd have negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1, and 1 and negative 1 are perpendicular to each other. Be a little bit careful. Like this one, I would have been -1 over -5, which is 1/5. This one, got to see here that all you got to do is divide because they're on opposite sides. So you say divide by 10. And that also gives you 1/5. And since they're both 1/5, they are parallel. Here, these are both vertical lines, so those are parallel. If I wanted something perpendicular, if it's y equals any number, it's going to be perpendicular. All right, so now we're getting to the final sections. Yay! I want to be done. I need to be done. Let's go. All right. So again, be careful on this and ask yourself, am I saying write a linear equation? If I say write a linear equation, you can give me the answer like this, just in point-slope form. But if I ask you to rewrite it into slope-intercept form, you do need to go the extra steps and distribute and then add or subtract. So number 26 should have been yx plus 4. Number 27, that's what you could get. Now notice, if you do this and like you distribute, you got y minus 1 is equal to -1x plus 3. Add, you get y is equal to -1x plus 4. And if you do it over here, y minus 6 equals -1x minus 2. Add 4 to both, add 6 to both sides. Getting ahead of myself there. And you get y is equal to -1x plus 4. So you see here, no matter which one you choose, they would have gotten you to the same equation. So that's why I would take either one of these two if I just asked you to write the linear equation. But notice that you first had to find the slope. Okay, number 28. What's parallel to y equals 3x plus 5? Just the 3. Okay, so if you use that point, -4, -13 with the 3, you get the equation. All right, and then if you need to, you can say distribute, get 3x plus 12, and then subtract the 13 to get 3x minus 1. On number 29, we're going to use 1/4, and so you could say, oh, no. Okay, so if you use the point that they give you, where am I? Okay, so it'd be 10. It would be 4, y with y, x with x, slope in the middle. Okay, and then from there, make sure I'm looking at this right. Y minus 10 is equal to 1/4 x. Distribute, -1, add 10 to both sides. So y is equal to 1/4 x plus 9. Again, only if I ask you to write it in slope-intercept form. If I ask you just the equation line, you're okay there. Okay, finally, it happened. Anyways, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to torture y'all. That would be torture. Okay, so the slope of this line, if I say y equals -a over b, would be -2 over 5, which would be, or -5, which would be 2/5. Perpendicular to that would be 5 over -2. So then I can plug that in. Well, okay. So I'm showing you why I could do that. Okay, which would be 2/5. All right. Okay. So now I can plug this slope right here and say y minus is equal to parentheses x minus y with y, x with x, slope in the middle. Okay, that becomes plus 9. And then again, if it says write a linear equation, you're done. But if I were to say slope-intercept form, y plus 9 is equal to -5/2 x plus 5. Trust me, it comes out that way. -9 minus 9. So y is equal to -5/2 x minus 4. Bum bum. And then you would be done. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. All right. Hey, that's it for today. I think you've had a chance for bonus words, so I'm not going to add one in here. But hey, thank you so much for your time. Hopefully y'all are studying for this test and y'all are going to do awesome. Y'all take care. Thank you so much.